Hello everyone and welcome to a bit of a different video as to what you were probably expecting today, but I just feel we need to have a sit down, chat, now things have calmed down a little bit as to what happened yesterday. So we'll just chat for 5-10 minutes and see what happened yesterday. We'll discuss it at a bit of length. Now, 1-0 against bottom of the league isn't great. We're not going to shy away from that. However, there are a few things I would like to just talk about regarding McCann, regarding the players we have at this club, and McCann's conduct in the media actually, and we'll start on that point. So, recently, he had some stuff about Keane Lewis Potter's contract, which we all agree should have been kept private. Now, Malik Wilks is in a bit of a tough patch of form. So Grant McCann came out and addressed that yesterday and says it's because Malik's having personal family issues away from football, but it's not affecting his performance. Now, I get it's probably to take criticism away from Malik, but it's just going to put more eyes on him because we know this is going on. And for a player who hasn't scored in 3, for a player who misses a lot of chances as it is, yes, he's our top goal scorer, but he misses a hell of a lot of chances. He's got 12 goals this season. He could easily have 20. The amount of opportunities he's missed. Against Accrington at home, he could have had about 4. Not even being unrealistic there. And there's games this season where we could have had more, and we'll get onto that in a minute. However, in an attempt to take criticism away from Malik, he has put more eyes on him. And that's the same thing happened with Keane Lewis Potter when all that contract malarkey was going on. As a manager, you do not do that. You do not do that. Just quite simple. But in terms of the players he's selecting, if we just have a look here quickly, if it shows, it should do. If it's not, it's not working. I'll just put an overlay on then. The team selection. It's not a bad team. It's not a bad team. It's really not. I mean, this will come across in the preview tomorrow, but I would change things drastically. Drastically. But it's only 2 defeats and one of them was a draw. Why are you panicking? Because as soon as this team gets on a losing run, we know that we can't get out of it. Look back to last season as prime example of that. Last season, after 26 games, we were 1 point off the playoffs. 20 games later, we were bottom of the league. That takes a special kind of team to do that. Or it just takes two players leaving who are coincidentally your 2 best players. Anyway. Now, let's have a look at January. There's a full podcast coming out on this later this week. However, let's just touch on it briefly. Jordan Flores, a brilliant signing. If you watched the preview the other day, what that guy said about Jordan Flores is awful. He was no way the worst penalty taker that night, and he was nowhere near the worst player. I mean, Dan Crowley and Gavin White look good, but the thing is with Crowley, when he's on the left wing, he drifts inside. Therefore, Keane Lewis-Potter and Malik Wilks have to sort of shake it up a little bit, and we sort of lose our attacking shape. That's why having him sitting as a number 10 could probably make this team very, very successful, because his eye for a pass is phenomenal. And Max Clark, we've not seen him yet, but for me, he should replace Richie Smallwood in defensive midfield now that Smallwood's injured. At the time of recording, don't know the extent of the injury, but we know that it don't look great, and it'll definitely keep him out of the Lincoln game. So that'll mean Louis Coyle takes the captain's armband for that game if he stays in, which in my eyes he shouldn't. Yes, Emmanuel didn't look great against Lincoln, but give him a chance. Give him another opportunity. See what he does. But anyway, it's McCann's just rigidness about sticking to that 4-3-3 that will be our downfall. With any other manager, yes, we'll probably play a similar formation. With Danny Cowley, we'll probably play the same way, similar sort of formation. Paul Cook, maybe the same, maybe something similar, because these people call it that. Even I've discussed David Myler. I'd love to have him back as manager. And he could probably fill in for Smallwood now, to be fair, now that Smallwood's injured. But McCann has clearly invested to play this way. So therefore, if you try and move away from it, it isn't really going to work unless you invest heavily in what this team is gonna, unless you invest heavily in what you want the team to shape up like. If you want a 4-4-2, for example, you'll have to invest to make that system work, because we are built for a 4-3-3. But just finally, little reflection on the Burton game. Not ideal. And when you look at the league table, it doesn't look good for us. 3 points behind Lincoln. They've got a game in hand on us. Doncaster in third. They've got the exact same amount of points as us, and they've got 3 games in hand. It doesn't look great. It doesn't. But I was going to say I have faith, but I don't, because we know what can happen when we get on a losing run. Grant McCann is stealing a living still being manager of this football club, and that's no word of a lie. He should not be the manager of this football club. He should not. It just shouldn't happen. He shouldn't be here anymore. But I think we'll struggle to make playoffs the way things are going. Oh, but you've lost 1 game, yes, but the play yesterday was awful. It was awful. And yes, that's not the same Burton team that put them to the bottom of the league. They made something like 9, 10 new signings in January. They've got a new manager. Yes, it's not the same outfit that has left them bottom of the league. But still, come on, boys, what is that? But fair play to Burton, they limited us to pot shots and whatever, so they deserved it. And we'll have to respond on Tuesday. The boys always say, when we lost to Fleetwood earlier in the season, Greg Docherty said before the following game, look, we were gutted they want a game in midweek for us to put it right. So you players, I'm gonna sit a little bit like this for this. Look dead down the camera. Hull City, players, staff, board. Players, you always say you want to bounce straight back. Show us that. Show us that on Tuesday. Ehab, grow a pair of balls and sack Grant if we don't go up. And Grant, grow a pair of balls and change system, change formation. See if It works. And that's all I need to say. Thank you very much, everyone. See you later. Up the Tigers.